Exactly who is made in God's image? Male, female, or both? The quick answer to the question, who's made in God's image, male, female, or both, is both.
Male and female are both made in God's image. At the very beginning of a person's life, God stamps that person with the image of God. This is so important to understand that from the moment of conception, a little tiny baby bears the image of God. This gives all of us, regardless of whether we know Jesus or not, we all have inherent value. Genesis 1:27 says, "So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God he created them. Male and female he created them."
So after God had created the light and the land and the animals, the air and the water, and all of magnificent creation, the crowning moment of creation was when he breathed life into the man and woman. And he created them in two genders and said, "It is very good." Genesis 1:26 says, "Let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness." Now, why does God say us and our? Because God is Trinity from the very beginning and from before the very beginning. Although God is triune, we as people are differentiated as male and female. We're not Trinity as humans, but as male and female, God differentiates us. Now, in modern times, some people say that men can do some things and some say women can do certain things only. But this is not the way it was in the beginning. For example, in one area of Africa, only the men are the ones who weave the baskets, while the women are the ones who pick up the firewood. Guess who has the higher ranking job in that culture?
Of course, it's the men that do.
But in a nearby village, the men are the ones who collect the firewood, and the women are the ones who weave the baskets. In that culture, guess who has the higher ranking job?
Of course, it's the men's job again.
So, again, in modern times, we assign value to different jobs, but in the beginning, there's no mention of this at all.
So how are people created in God's image? I mean, does God have 10 fingers and 10 toes? No, God is spirit. Remember John 4. So what does it mean to be created in God's image? Well, it means we are spiritual beings, rational beings, creative, we're relational caretakers. We have the ability to love, to sacrifice, and to choose. We also have the power and the control to stop, to use restraint, which is what God actually does. At some point, he stops creating. But probably the most important thing that distinguishes us from animals is that we have dominion. At the very beginning, God gives dominion to both male and female, and he tells them together to be co-regents on the earth. Now, he tells us to have dominion over the animals, but he never tells us in Genesis 1 and 2 to have dominion over the other. That's a very important part to remember in the beautiful creation that God sets up in Genesis 1 and 2. So, of course, male and female in his image, and this is why we should respect and value both the daughters and the son from the womb to the tomb. When we honor the smallest image bearers, we honor the Creator. Now, of course, we want you to multiply this teaching. So what have you learned today about the character of God? What have you learned about the character of people? What is one thing that you can do today to obey something you have learned? And who can you share or tell this information to? Until all know, run with it.